Hi guys, so I'm on my way to Asia now, to India, and I've just seen everyone wear these. I'm sure you know why, because of the coronavirus. So today I just wanted to give some quick tips from myself about the coronavirus. You can get this information on any reputable site, especially WHO is a really reputable site that you can use to get any advice on coronavirus. So this is what you call a surgical mask, okay? And I've got about 2 of these as well, and these are widely available. And although these are helpful in the worst case scenario, these are not the recommended masks for coronavirus. Coronavirus is spread by the air, so actually this doesn't protect against that. You need a mask which is called 3M N95. Those are special masks with filters on them, and they look quite different to this. But I just want to bust some myths about the coronavirus right now. It's a virus which I think people are really scared about, and you should be. You should be aware of it, but not anxious. Especially if you're traveling and being in environments like an airport where there's lots of people, you should take precautions. And the precautions I would recommend are with any flu or any kind of airborne virus illnesses. When you are in a public place like this, of course, this is a bare minimum, you can use this, but it's really important to use these correctly. So when you do use a surgical mask, and if you do only have access to a surgical mask and not the typical mask that you should be using, which is a 3M N95, you need to make sure the wire bit is over on this bit and actually over your nose, and you need to seal it over your face like this and have it cover all the way like this. And you need to really be wearing this at all times. It doesn't help if you're sort of switching, taking it off, taking it on, especially on the flight. I would recommend that you use them. And these surgical masks are disposable, so ideally you really shouldn't be reusing them once you've used them on a flight already. Another thing I want to just talk about is hand hygiene. Hand hygiene is really, really important. And of course, when you're traveling, it's really important to have something on the go, like an alcohol hand gel. But alcohol hand gel doesn't solve all the problems in the world, okay? If your hands are really dirty, you really need to wash your hands with soap and water and dry them properly with paper towels. Paper towels are actually better to fully dry your hands than air dryers. Alcohol hand gel, it works about 4 to 5 uses, and then really you need to be washing your hands when your hands start to get sticky and grubby. And especially if you're touching people, you're around people who are unwell, you really need to be washing your hands more frequently. So when it comes to hand hygiene, we've already discussed the alcohol hand gel, that's really effective, and also hand washing. Another thing I would really recommend is surfaces. Although the coronavirus doesn't survive on normal surfaces for longer than a few hours, it's important to take precautions, especially doorknobs, flushes in public toilets, and even touching people's hands and doing handshakes. So it works that I'm going to a place like India or even Pakistan when I'm going after India, where you don't have the concept of handshaking all that often. Instead, we just do this, or you can do salam or something like that, or just simply just say hello. You don't have to always shake hands with people. That's a common way of spreading germs. Another thing I would recommend is that coronavirus is actually spread through meat as well. So cooking meat properly when you're eating meat, and going to places which have good rating in terms of hygiene rating when you're going for food. In general, I would recommend everyone at home to not go to places where there are lots of people, whether it's traveling and unnecessarily. If you can avoid it, try to avoid traveling. I obviously can't. Being in airports, being in flights, congested flights especially, being around people who are sneezing or coughing, and being wary if you develop symptoms as well. It's really important to keep a watch out for your own symptoms. The common symptoms are respiratory symptoms, which would be anything from sneezing, coughing, feeling a difficulty in breathing. Bearing in mind, if you do show symptoms of difficulty in breathing, you need to seek medical attention straight away, especially if you have traveled to China or places which have got a high incidence of coronavirus. So that's my small few tips for coronavirus. It's important to be aware but not anxious, and don't just fall for these masks being sold everywhere. This is a last resort if you have no access to anything else. Although I would say that actually the surgical masks are a better solution than just going rampant and buying the 3M N95. Those are really reserved for people who are dealing with the patients and actually, in first contact with patients. So unless this applies to you, do stay careful and stay aware, not anxious. And wish me luck for my trip to India. Mwah.